Hi. Okay, so today's video was supposed to be about me telling you a cool story that when I was in Cambodia, I did all of these unique things and I really didn't do any basic experiences. I went off the beaten path and it was so cool and life-changing and I found myself. But, as I was recording the video, I could kind of like hear myself say that and I felt so pretentious and annoying. And then I just sort of snapped and just started like telling the same story in a bit of a negative way. But basically, the story was I was at this market that was like super loud and overwhelming. Like just existing there felt like suffering. And I think a lot of people just spend every day of their lives there. And there was this lady who was just having a nap in the middle of the market. And for me, I just wanted to run. And just seeing her in that environment just kind of, well, to me, being asleep means you're kind of like okay with what's going on. Like you feel safe, you feel whatever. Because if I'm in a crazy environment, I can't sleep. But this lady was just like it's nothing. She's sleeping. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna like show you my reaction after I was like trying to like be all inspiring and like make it sound cool. And then I just kind of like felt bad for being a dick. So here it is. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kareem. Just checking if it's on. This is video 5 out of 52. This is weird. Sitting in your room alone with the camera pointed at your face, talking, thinking, oh, people out there in the world are gonna want to listen to this because these are like nuggets of gold, basically. For real though, thank you for joining. I mentioned in another video that I went on a backpacking trip for like a year as an adult. Like I didn't do this when I was a teenager. I didn't do this when I was like, before university or something. I did it in my mid-30s. It was always one of my goals. So I had enough money. I just like quit my job and packed my backpack and was off to Southeast Asia. When you look back at a whole year of backpacking or anything really, I think like certain key moments sort of like stand out to you and just capture the energy of a place or capture an experience or capture even a person. When you meet a person, you could spend like weeks with that person, but when you look back, you only remember these like key frames that capture the energy of that person, that capture the memory. Memories that when you reflect on, it sort of takes you back. It puts you back in that experience or in that place or with that person. So Thailand was my first stop. I mainly did like mainstream stuff. I went to like popular areas. I Googled, best restaurant, and just went to that. Top hikes, nothing original really. I would say like that kind of made my first stop, which was Thailand, like kind of forgettable. It's just like an ocean of tourists. Everybody's doing the same stuff. It's kind of like nothing really stands out when you're doing these like very catered experiences. But after 2 months of doing basic stuff and not really feeling like I'm doing anything unique, I kind of like freaked out and I wanted my second country, my second stop to be like a little bit more unique. So after landing in Cambodia, I think around day 3 or 4, I was already out of the city, in the middle of nowhere, in the countryside, going to places where I don't think they've ever seen a foreigner before. That kind of made Cambodia have like all these like really unique and very memorable experiences to me. Like when I look back at my trip, a whole year, a lot of the memories or a lot of those like key moments, key frames are from Cambodia, just because like everything was so weird and unusual and unpredictable. I spent a lot of time in Cambodia, so that kind of gave me the chance to just like really explore like every nook and cranny. Like I could go to maybe like a popular area, but once I'm done, I could just like explore the area around and just like walk into like alleyways and just buy random stuff from street vendors. So there was this one day where I went to this like very popular street food market in Phnom Penh, and I thought that place sucked. Like it was so expensive. The prices are like so expensive. Like you could pay like $5 for like one plate, which is ridiculous. And at that point, I had already been in Cambodia for weeks. So I've had like awesome food from like a granny on the sidewalk with just like a plastic chair and a broken ass fan and just making the best food you ever had in your life, and for like $1. So I really felt like that place was kind of a ripoff. So I was very like disappointed after visiting the street food market. But to kind of like make it up, I didn't want to like waste this outing. I had like taken a cab, or sorry, not a cab, like a tuk-tuk. I have taken a tuk-tuk all the way out to this market. And I just didn't want to like waste this trip. So I wanted to like make the most out of it. So I was like, why don't I just like explore the area around the market? And honestly, it didn't take me that long to kind of like feel like I'm so off the beaten path. 5 minutes of walking behind that popular market, I found myself in this like really, really smelly, grimy, like wet market where they sell like everything from like pig heads. You have these like huge tables with like a lot of chopped pig heads just sitting on top of it. Ugh. And then you have like all these buckets with like really slimy creatures, slimy like clams and snails and like alien looking things. There's a river near that market, so they sell a lot of those like river creatures. I don't really know what they are. Like a lot of living things in buckets basically. And that was like the first thing that hit me, like the very intense smell, the super loud noises. There's like bikes everywhere, people screaming. So you can tell immediately like this is not built for like foreigners. This is just like local people living their own lives, doing their own thing. I'm not gonna lie, like I felt very overwhelmed, and a lot of times I would go on these like random walks to kind of like maybe inspire like some creativity. Ugh. But it's really hard to be inspired and feel creative when all of your senses are being assaulted, and you feel like if you just take one wrong step, you might step into a puddle, a car run over your feet, or bump into somebody's face, or literally hit somebody's table and flip it over and like make a mess. So I was like very anxious and very overwhelmed, and every once in a while I would see like a side road or like an alley that would take me out of this market, and I'm just like, yo, I need to get out of here, man. But I pushed through it. I think, I don't know, maybe that day I had like extra protein in my breakfast and I just had the energy to like sort of push through it. There was a lot going on. There was like a million different faces, a million different things going on, music, sort of like electric generators whirring, and like motorbikes and just dogs barking. There was so much going on. Out of all of this chaos, I'm just like trying to scan the environment, trying to find something to take a photo of. But at some point I was just like, let's just make it through the street, and then you can worry about photography. For now, just try to be mindful, try to center yourself, ground yourself, breathe deeply, and just keep walking. But out of all of this chaos, I spot a moment. I spot something that just captures the energy of like just Cambodia, captures the energy of like Cambodians. And I see it. I see this moment. I see a frame where amidst all of this madness, I see this lady that's just sort of sitting on like a makeshift recliner in the middle of all of this chaos. She's having her deepest nap. She's so peaceful. I feel so jealous. It's like she's having her own bubble of safety and peace. I hate this video. I think writing about it is cool, but talking about it, I feel so pretentious. Oh, I go off the beaten path. I'm so cool. Oh, this is the only way to have real experiences. Oh, look at this moment. Oh, I can reduce the essence of a country, of a people, to like a moment. And this moment is like a lady sitting at the market and just like dealing with all that shit. That was fucked up, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of fucked me up a little bit, because for me, I'm just like struggling to spend like an extra minute in this market. I want to run, man. I feel so overwhelmed. I don't even know how anybody would survive there for more than a minute. And this lady's just sleeping there, man. She's just like sitting at the market and she's just lying back and she's gone. She's just like having like super deep REM sleep, man. She's not there. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of sad. Like, for me, this is like an experience. This is just something that I'm doing for fun, for self growth, for exploring the world, feeling cool. But these people live there, and they don't just like live there, they're stuck there. The idea of leaving their city or town is probably like impossible. I'm not gonna lie, I admired it a little bit that these people can sort of adapt to that level of craziness, but do they have a choice really? Where else are they gonna go? They don't have money. At that point, I realized like that I kind of ruined the video and I don't have the energy to just like keep shooting more and more. So I just like keep ranting on for 30 more minutes. So I'm just gonna wrap it up and say thank you for watching if you've watched this whole thing. Yeah, and join for next week for another freak out on camera. Peace.